is there a scenario, a dream scenario in free agent in the draft that you can see Andrew Berry getting several players that, again, put the Browns right back in contention to be a playoff team?
Here's the problem with people: it's not going to be sexy. It's going to be sensible. Sensible is very rarely sexy. If you're looking at options, and the more smoke that builds up around this, the more likely it feels like that Kirk Cousins is going to force his way out of Atlanta, and that is someone who would be a cheap option, and he fits the sensibilities of what you want to do philosophically. So it's somewhere that you could kind of plug and play and kind of hit the ground running, and he's not a long-term answer. So that doesn't prevent you from drafting a quarterback. It doesn't prevent you from taking some dart throws on some other free agents who are also going to be cheap that maybe failed their first stint, like a Trey Lance or a Zach Wilson or someone along that lines. The other guys that might be notable that they've always kind of explored trades. I look at someone like Malik Willis in Green Bay. They've already drafted Sean Clifford to be the backup there. So if you could pry him away, it'd be someone cheap who's still on a relatively inexpensive deal to get him in. But I think that the straightest line would be Kirk Cousins. The other things you have to do is you got to revamp this running game, keep investing in the offensive line, and this is a fantastic draft for running back. I would take a couple swings there, and I think that is your quickest path to getting back to the playoffs.
What running backs, what linemen do you think plug the holes? Again, what do they need to do to be? Again, the quarterback position, and people don't want to hear this. The quarterback position, we'll talk about it a little bit later. It was so bad that it made every other facet of the team. It just dragged them down.
Yeah. The running back equation is a lot easier than the line equation. You've by going back to the wide zone, you're already more well equipped to run that based on what you have in house, but that doesn't solve left tackle. You can make do with some centers based on your guard play, but the running back position, if I'm looking at the board, there are about 5 different running backs that would fit that scheme perfectly, and they're available rounds 2 through 5. From Caleb Johnson all the way to a Devin Neal. There's all types of iterations. And obviously you have the lottery pick that if you re-sign Chubb and he actually becomes Nick Chubb again that you're used to, you have to operate that he's not. But if he does show up in that way, wow, that opens up a world for you. But I think the biggest concern for me would be that left tackle position because there isn't an obvious plug in free agency. And Juwan Jones, is he going to be healthy? Is he not? You kind of don't know. So that's the one that is up in the air for me.